Okay, Dean Legge from Dogpost here. If you're watching this on YouTube, you should go check out dogpost.com, dawgpost.com. Today wasn't a great day from what we saw out there. Of course, we're only out there for a limited amount of time, but it was one of those days where if you play offense at Georgia, you may want to forget it as far as the passing game was concerned. I thought those guys didn't look like they normally do. The good news for me today that I saw was that Justin Scott Wesley definitely looked light years better than he did on Friday from what I saw. So it was just one of those days where if you're Georgia, they kind of struggled to get the ball where they wanted it to go in these like sort of basic simple passing drills. So it wasn't a great day as far as that was concerned. Particularly considering how there's nobody playing defense. Charlie Hedges, so I'm certain I'm saying that wrong, the walk-on from NC State, he didn't have a great day. Jay Rome seemed to tweak his foot a little bit, but that didn't look too serious. But it was just one of those days that didn't look like the offense looked great. I think Jeremy Pruitt's still sort of figuring out the defense. And, just looking here at this tape again of the offensive line, those guys kind of are doing their thing, figuring out who's going to play the other three spots, who's going to start at the other three spots. Okay, Ethan Birch, contributor here at Dogpost. I was talking about the offensive line a minute ago. Who did you watch today when you were out there?
As far as the offensive line goes?
No, today. Running back, I guess it was?
Yeah, running back, tight ends. Got a chance to watch the receivers a little bit. Basically all I noticed as far as tight ends goes, obviously, we had to see Jay Rome walk off the field in what looked like a lot of pain, but, the big thing is he was already in pain when camp started. When he talked to Mark Richt on Friday, he said, if Jay Rome is in any pain, looks like he needs to come off the field, he's going to come off the field. And
he sure did that today.
Immediately when it happened, I guess the upside is that he did catch the ball. He did run a great route, and he was one of the only people to be in sync with their quarterbacks today.
Yeah, that's right. It was a tough day for the quarterbacks in the passing game, didn't you? I mean, I don't know how much you watched that, but I did. It wasn't great.
I got to stand there and watch them for a little bit, route running. I didn't see them with, Michael Bennett, Chris Conley, things like that. They might have just been out of sync with the tight ends from the, 15 minutes we got to watch out there today. When I saw Jay Rome, he looked crisp, but obviously when we took a look back at those pictures today, he was clearly in pain. Yeah. Could have been a toe. It's the right foot, somewhere in that area. I think when he hits that toe, immediately had to leave. Got on the bike for the rest of the time. Everybody else, Jeb Blazevich looked good. He's looked pretty good. What I put today, in the Fast Five, though, was that, Quavon Hicks, of all the ones out there, was having the best day. Quavon Hicks got the most love from Mike Bobo out there. And this is a guy that's still trying to learn how to be a tight end.
Yeah, I think if you see the difference between Quavon and all the other guys, it's height more than anything else. That's what it seems like to me. Jordan Davis is a little bit certainly very athletic out there today, but he's still learning how to just get everything down, routes and everything.
He is. He's a guy that I had a lot of hopes for last season. When he's out there, it's like a basketball player. I mean, and that's kind of what Mike Bobo and John Lilly say to him. They just go up and get the ball. Hudson's can float it out there as long as he'll go out there and get it. But I think the big thing with him is he's got to be more physical. Every one of these tight ends has got something that they have to do, better. They can't put it all together. Maybe Jeb Blazevich is that guy, but he's just young.
It seems like Jeb Blazevich is having a good summer for me so far. You hear a lot of rumors about Jeb Blazevich, and you see him out there today. He's still running with the 4, but tight ends play here, and they play early, special teams, etc. So anything else from the running backs, anything new? I think the one thing, let me just mention this about Justin Scott Wesley. Yeah. The thing it seemed to me, he didn't have the little knee deals on today, whatever he had on the other day. I think he was a little frustrated with that. I'm telling you, he looked totally different than he did today. Anything else that you saw from the running backs, etc.?
I would say as far as running backs go, everything still looks the same. Keith has been, for what it's worth, he's the first guy to go in drills. He's the first one to go out there. Obviously he and Todd interchange that every day. Todd is the number one guy. Keith looks very comfortable. We haven't seen Keith. Unfortunately, we hadn't had a chance to talk to Keith about it, but he looks fine out there. As far as the battle back and forth between Sony Michel and Nick Chubb, they're two different running backs. I mean, Nick Chubb South Georgia guy, or is he from the North?
North Georgia. It depends on who you. Yeah.
Depends on if you're talking to me, Dean, or Fletcher. But right now he's a big, strong, physical guy, just like everybody anticipated. We won't know for a while between he and Sony Michel what they're going to bring to the table. We'll hear about the scrimmages. Obviously, we don't get to see the scrimmages. When the numbers come back after 3 scrimmages, we still won't know what to think about that.
Well, my expectation is that Nick Chubb is slightly ahead of Sony Michel, but I'm saying that I just hear what I hear, not what I see. Well, both a little bit, but more what I hear. It's a lot of it's out of ignorance. But I expect Sony to be slightly more prepared for that Nick will be slightly more prepared for the conference just because of the body. But there's nothing wrong with either of those guys. Sony Michel from way deep south, Georgia and Miami.
And he's not that small when you get up next to him. He's one of those, Todd Gurley is deceivingly tall.
Yes.
Sony Michel is also pretty big as well. He's obviously not got the build that Nick Chubb has. That's as far as running backs. I think we've covered the whole offense. There's not really that much to say about the defense from today, except for there's nothing bad to say about the defense.
No, well, we'll get back to that some other time. If you like this, then you should go to Dog Post and check out everything else. This is just a snippet of what we do every day. For Ethan Birch, Dean Legge, go check out dogpost.com.